against. So the answer equals being the answer and practicing what is true. Okay? So the answer, once the answer is known, the answer is supposed to be applied, practiced, for the person to be the answer. Without practicing the answer, without practicing the answer, you can't apply what is true. So the answer in any given element of reality is the better reality. And why do I mention that? I mention that because you have to understand the phenomena of what is occurring. So those who are fussing and pussing and here and there, are they even being truth? Are they even being the answers? Because they have to be the answers to be able to fuss around and quote unquote, say a wide variety of different types of expressions and words. Remember the reflection. The reflection is the fact that so realistically the reflection is the fact of the matter so my heater's speaking to me. So that was weird, I think. Even though something wasn't weird because the way I perceive something is people are in on messing with me. They're just joking. So somebody's created a false reality about me. I'm sure if some people have created a false reality about me, they've created a false reality about themselves. Okay? Remember, everything about me is true. I'm a person that understood something, and through the midst, I've been making sure and telling you guys the scoop of what is going on, and that's everybody that is true. Because I know every group, every leader, from my understanding, this is what my perception is. Because there's perceptions, there's perspectives, and there's truths in terms of what the truth is. Let's not get the story twisted. Numerous people have no idea what the truth is. They try to get the story twisted. So, in every given element, the correct answer is and has to do with everything being understood, everything being known. I'm doing my part similar to this. How there's weird noise that's stemming out of places, and I'm talking about a heater, for instance. Okay, and there's noise that people are speaking to in terms of various places, and something is not abundantly known. That's the problem, because sure, everything is abundantly known the way something is supposed to be abundantly known. However, something is not abundantly known, and how something is supposed to be abundantly known. That makes sense of something being known and something being unknown. I think people have gotten accustomed to some type of idea that while I or somebody's doing something, some people put themselves in the midst and try to distort some type of a story of what is occurring in terms of a belief or understanding. Somebody's trying to change my belief and understanding to something that my belief and understanding isn't. My belief and my understanding and who I am in terms of everything to do with truth. And if everybody has the potential to be true, that equals everybody's supposed to be true. And that equals the fact that we're all going through some type of a different lesson here on this earth. And I think what people are doing is they're trying to say, oh, look, the person, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this scenario, let's see what the person is. Oh, wow. So while there's this huge distraction occurring, a wave of numerous distractions, something significant is occurring and no one's realizing what's going on. Okay? And every single day, I do my portion, I do my part, and I make sense of something. I make sense of something, anything, every day. And I literally am a very, very good influence of what the truth is. Some people try to distort my story, try to change the story, try to get light reactions, light opinions from me or something. And not just with me, with everybody, including the people themselves. And they're not supposed to be doing that. Why? Because think about something. Think about the fact that there's a purpose to life. So a lot of people have a lot of stories, and the point is for everybody's purpose and story to be known. Similar to what I was mentioning before, to do with the book. Life is a book, and so everybody's book can be known. There are some people trying to prove that I'm wrong in terms of doing something and getting away with doing something. They're only proving that they're wrong. Why? They're supposed to be the truth. They're supposed to be the answer. They can't be something less than. That's their mistake. And they're thinking politically they're correct or something. What are you talking about, man? Wake the heck up. These people don't understand the entire story. There's people that have no idea about the entire story of what the entire story is. Literally, zero. Isn't everybody supposed to have a book? Well, yes, I believe so. How? Well, everybody's supposed to be true. Yeah. Think about a book. Okay? Your favorite book, if you don't have one, you will have one in the future. Okay? So while I'm explaining this, there's a lot of people doing a bunch of wide variety of different tests. And I think what they're trying to say is we can distract all of you from the truth, and we can do all of this to you, and you guys don't even care or something. You guys may be brainwashed though. Just like those people, just like those people, just like those people in any given element. That's true with everybody. Okay? Whatever is true with everybody, you can't always compare with something else. Everything is different. This is funny. You know why? Everything's supposed to be true. That's why. The truth is what is good. The truth is benefit, similar to oxygen and water. What is good for you, what is good for the planet, what is good for everything and everyone. And that equals how everything and everyone is supposed to basically be the benefit to everything and everyone. So the benefit is supposed to be similar to oxygen and water. So this is a benefit to everything. If you think about this, that's how we're supposed to be. However, we're supposed to be pure. We're supposed to be holy. We're supposed to be true. We're supposed to take care of ourselves. We're supposed to understand what the truth is, and we're supposed to be able to then incorporate what we've learned to reality. And that's with everybody. People make a lot of mistakes of reality. They don't. They're too busy doing this. They don't understand the story. Somebody else gets the best of them, and so on and so forth. All that is wrong. Everything has to be backwards. Doing this will fix everything. So think about this. Think about how you're supposed to revert something in terms of back something. So while I'm mentioning this, there's people that are talking to me, and I feel like they're talking to me through various places and scientifically doing so, and good because this is what is true in terms of people guessing, thinking similarly, trying to understand everything. And look, I want to explain something, and so everything and everyone can be understood, and so everything can be on the same page. Because I believe that understanding that we're all on the same page, everything can work correctly. So I need people to understand everything correctly, so I could describe something correctly, so people can understand everything correctly, so everybody can be who they're supposed to be, because everybody and everything has a potential to be true and truth. Because I think what some people did is they drew something upon their likeness and their vision. Okay? However, not really, to be honest with you. So both are true. And so the correct answer realistically, is the fact, and I say fact because fact and opinion are different. If you understand everything correctly, you understand that I created a formula. So realistically, if people apply the basic principles Michael Jackson, people don't want to hear, no one can be forced to listen to anything they don't want to be forced to listen to. I don't force anything when I want to listen to me, they don't want to listen to me. I don't. I don't want anybody to be forced about doing anything that they don't want to do. I don't believe that that's true.
Future.
You know?
It means that we avoid the unconscious clutter and noise that fogs our true path. Looking forward actually means being present, but with a purpose. Just as when we are walking, we
Yeah,
understand that
some people are drawing each other very weirdly, I believe. And they're drawing each other very weirdly because they're just, being asses, They're being asses and they're being number twos. So I think that some people are drawing each other weirdly. Why? It's a form of disconnection, man. We're supposed to understand each other. We're supposed to understand who our true self is. So knowing who we are, and if we don't, we should. And if we don't, we should be aware. We should change. We should be aware. We should understand, and we should be who we're supposed to be, our true self. So our true self has to do with who we are. Look, we're supposed to be found. Everybody's lost. Okay? Yeah, with the flower, exactly. Good job. Whoever said the other word, that's okay too.
It's so fascinating. People know what the answer is. They don't. They should.
So, in other words, to be honest with you, everything that ever occurred is just
It's very fascinating, man.
some type of a different
The entire
story.
point is to remember all the lessons and understand and know what life is in terms of how everything is, and be able to return back to your true self, and your true self control your false self.
Hey, he's making just
Speaking of that,
for have a good night too, man. Happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's.
Then they tell you it'll only take 90 minutes. That is the first lie they tell.
As you start to take notice of your pattern of breathing, just allow your arms and legs to release any tension.
wow,
Let gravity pull
that's the
them
way everything is
gently
occurred.
downward.
All has to be reverted. The first step is everything to revert anything
Till
wrong.
you feel that
So
gentle
it should
breath
be
in
manifested.
and out.
Oh man,
People think life reactions that is they get
reality is good.
wrong
You have to live
answers,
life
so
correctly.
wrong Job.
for long reality.
Just be true.
Your chest moving up and down, slowly and comfortably. And on your next
To be
breath,
honest with you, I want to sit back and I want to enjoy the
as you
show.
breathe out,
However, I feel though there's a lot of issues, you know.
just let your limbs relax even further.
Somebody's trying to be like a parent.
Releasing any of that remaining tension.
It's funny, man.
During this time, you may become especially aware of your senses. The feeling of the surfaces you're touching against. The amount of light in the room. You may hear detailed sounds that may have otherwise gone unnoticed. And all of these
Stop
are
that.
fine.
So I just vision to do what
Just
I did.
allow
And
yourself
then
to
what is going
experience
on.
these sensations. And
Neither
accept
one
them
is correct,
without
man.
judgment. Just take that time to find the
That was
centered
good.
feeling.
At the moment of time, same
Of the
thing to
present
that with that video, and at the moment of time happened again. Something similar. That's
As you
funny.
become
Yeah, don't,
increasingly
man.
aware
It's similar to what I said.
and increasingly centered,
Understand?
So that's how everything will change.
to contemplate our topic of
To be honest
focus
with you.
for today.
This should
It's a very good point. Think about that. Think about the fact, not an opinion. Okay? People want facts. So there's a correct fact, and then there's an opinion. Nothing to do with one another. One is one thing, another is something else. You know how the color blue is blue and something is green? Well, the truth is the fact that everything is supposed to be reverted back to the color. So something is green. Somebody then changes this to something else, and then something else, and something else. That's not okay. Okay? So the fact is the matter, and the fact of the matter has to do with this that is the same in terms of what is true. And you know what's fascinating? Who's done some type of buyout and a playout of what their perception, what their belief is of something? Because it's nothing to do with reality. You know, when something doesn't. When something does. I can't say that something does when something doesn't. So you see how something has to be true for something to make sense. If something is not true, it doesn't make sense at all. Because no one's supposed to be visioning something wrong. No one's supposed to be thinking something is wrong. No one's supposed to be saying something that is wrong. Unless the true measurement is understood correctly. Because the true measurement equals how something is psychological for me, something is true for something to understand that they're wrong, so they can change and be what is true. So If you don't
Want
understand
to
the
hear a
book,
short story about the average
you're
timeshare
not going to
vacation?
understand everything.
Once upon a time, I wanted to use my timeshare, but I couldn't because there were no dates available. The end. Not the best story, I know. Thankfully, at Wesley Financial Group, we rewrite that story. In fact, we've rewritten it for more than 16,000 families. For the last 10 years, we've been fighting to free timeshare owners from the lies and burdens unfairly placed on them by the timeshare companies. And can I just say, we're pretty good at it too. So good that in 2013, the largest timeshare company in the world sued our CEO and founder, Chuck McDowell. Facing bankruptcy, Chuck fought and defeated them for the right to help you. Since then, we've canceled $250 million of timeshare debt. Between maintenance fees, mortgage payments, and assessment fees, it makes it hard to afford half a vacation, especially when you can't even use what they sold you to begin with. If you own a timeshare, I bet there's a good chance you have experienced many of these problems too. That's why we want to send you our
watching a
free
commercial.
timeshare exit info kit in the mail.
Let's see what's
In this kit,
born out
you'll
of this
learn
because
who
it's
we are,
significant.
why we do what we do, and how we are able to help thousands of families get rid of their timeshare once and for all. If you want one, click the link below, tell us where to send it, and we'll have one of our team members drop it in the mail tomorrow morning free of charge. It'll be on your doorstep in 3 days or less. Oh, and if you know someone who owns a timeshare, tag them in this post. We want to send them a timeshare exit info kit in the mail too.
Hi, I'm Johnny with UserWay, here to demonstrate our AI-powered accessibility solution. I'm excited to share with you the power of UserWay's AI and how you can achieve WCAG and ADA compliance for your website while safeguarding
Too
your
many people mess with too
organization
many stories.
against
They didn't allow the
accessibility-related
truth to be known.
lawsuits.
They
Before we dive in,
messed up
let's
the
talk
entire thing.
about why accessibility is essential from a legal perspective. Over 60 million people in the US alone
Oh yeah, you know how at one point of time I mentioned, in terms of seeing an ad all the way through. I do that when I can. I don't do that when I can. Or I can, however, something else is more significant. That's how I feel, you know. So in other words, the entire point is to be aware of change. Well, look, this is generally what is true, okay? So generally, be aware, change, be the answers of the basic principles. And I don't know who's buying nonsense playouts of what they're doing. However, they're wrong of what they're doing. Into the reality. Doesn't make sense at all, in other words. Only makes sense with a mix, only makes sense with something that doesn't make sense. Nothing to do with reality, in other words. Less than what is true, accustomed to. People are accustomed to a bunch of things that they're used to. And something is false, obviously, so you can't be something less than what is false. Less than what is true, excuse me, that is false. So generally to be aware, you're gonna create $1 trillion business. No, possibly more. Well, yeah. Not possibly more. Infinite percent more. In other words, something is going to always be infinite sums. Because think about the entire thing, you know, there's always money. Money can always be made, always. There's money circulating everywhere, my understanding. That's the reality I fit in. You know, there's different types of realities out there. I'm just trying to tell you how I see something, how I understand something. Then that's a accurate depiction. Accurate depiction of what money is. Money, you know, similar to what I mentioned before, can always be made. You know, money can always be made. Life can't always be made. Life is what needs to be preserved. See, this is what I like talking about. Not something that some people want me to talk about that doesn't realistically add on with life. You know? So, of course, we're supposed to be what is true without anybody trying to do nonsense buyouts, you know, playouts. That doesn't matter while people are doing something. You guys are funny, man. I'm not kidding. You guys are hysterical to me. Who entertains and dwells nice? Like, let's go do this. Let's see what type of reaction Gail was gonna have. You guys are funny, man. You guys are good. You guys are like, you know, everything to do with truths. We can utilize our powers. Domino effect has to stop. Yeah. Look, I'm trying my best in terms of every day with everything, with all elements, to try to kind of just be who I am without anybody, you know, like anybody messing with anybody. For anybody to wake up and be on the same page. So, and speaking of domino has to stop, what domino? Well, anything that is nonsense. So anything that is nonsense is a domino effect of a problem that is occurring. So no, people shouldn't.
I can't say this should, this should, that.
We'll take
You see, dancer, the word can belong anywhere in terms of this is how people are supposed to be speaking one to one another. This is what people need to be doing. Everybody knows one another. Man, so stupid. At the same time, not really. Just because of how everybody's being weird. However, not really. Their weirdness is their weirdness, their reflection. My perception is this. This is true for me, realistically. Yet some people stop that, and I was trying to understand why they stopped that. For to me, understand that that's not the correct. The correct is for everybody to be online.